what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here. It is Friday night, and we are mere days away from Season 4's launch, and with that comes a handful of new dungeons and Fated Castle Nathria. Now, I was debating making this video for a few days now. I wasn't sure if I actually had the footage of Castle Nathria from, I don't know, 10 years ago whenever we progressed this raid, but I was able to find the footage of all of our Castle Nathria kills. So number one, this video is going to be covering the updated version, the Fated raid, and what specs I think are probably going to be best on each fight. Spoilers ahead, it's mostly a Demo and Destro raid, probably all Demo and Destro, like it is currently, because AF is terrible. Number two, you'll notice it's going to be a voiceover. The actual footage is from my old apartment, the Christmas tree's up and certain things, times have changed. But either way, yeah, I wanted to cover like each boss on a case-by-case basis, talking about what specs can be good, why they're good, and how to sort of just, differentiate between the two, damage profiles, and all that, because back to old Castle Nathria, we played Affliction on basically every fight, but Demo's much better now. Dastro's much better now. So we'll see where all that goes. So yeah, we'll be covering basically all of that today. Now, if you like any week warriors or add-ons you see in this video, they're probably all going to be out of date because this is like from a year and a half ago. But my current updated week warriors and add-ons, there's a link to my Twitch down below where you can get them all for free. Or if you want to swing by, hang out, ask any questions, or watch some Fated Castle Nathria raids or Dragonflight Alpha, feel free to do so. And one more thing before we get into the video, I want to give one huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys a million times for all support on Patreon. I really appreciate it. If you're looking at supporting on Patreon, there should be a link up here as well as down in the video description below. While you're down there, be sure to smash the like and sub buttons. It helps out a ton. With that being said, let's get into it, starting off with one of the better first bosses in recent WoW, Shriekwing. Shriekwing will be the first boss you encounter, and this is a pure single target patchwork fight with a little bit of LOS mixed in certain spots. Now, both Destro and Demo do have solid single target toolkits, but Demonology does pull ahead, and partially due to power infusion scaling, partially just due to Demonology having that super strong profile. And while there is a little bit of LOS in this fight with some movement-based mechanics, this I think is going to be a Demonology fight, and it's not very close. There really isn't any potential to cleave as Destro, and while you can play Madness, the 4-piece is getting nerfed, while there are buffs to compensate coming in single target. This boss is a tried and true Demo boss. You play Demo, decon, you get PI, and you kill the boss. Pretty simple. Unfortunately, as cool as Affliction is, it's not in the same form that it is in this actual kill here. So, tried and true Demo boss, 1 point to Demo. Huntsman Altimor is the second boss you're going to encounter, and while we did play Affliction here during progression, that was because Destruction was very, very bad in 9.0. Destro was pretty bad up until Sepulchre, the first ones, but Destro, due to the 2-piece, due to the 4-piece really, and the raw buffs it's received over the course of the expansion, is very strong in cleave-based fights now, and this, as you can see, is a cleave-based fight. Even towards the middle to end of Nathria, when Destro received a minor buff, it became decent on this fight. You saw it played in certain settings. I expect Destro to crank this fight and be one of, if not the best specs for Huntsman Altimor, prologue, if you want to call it that, in Season 4. If you want to play Demonology, you can. There is a bit of a demand for a single target profile, and there are some stacked adds at times. You can get Big Implosion Cleave on the Shades of Barghast with a damage amp if you want, but I think Destro is going to just destroy this fight, and for good reason. It's a cleave fight. Destro gets a point. I don't think it's very close here. Have fun casting a million cleave cast bolts, and yeah, enjoy the first cleave boss of the raid. Hungering Destroyer is the third boss you're going to encounter in Castle Nathria, and it is a patchwork boss very similar to Shriekwing. Now, both Demo and Destro are okay in single target. Well, okay, they're both good, but Demo is better. Demo scales with PI better, has a very strong 1-minute damage profile with Wilfrids and Decon, and just even in raw damage, it is ahead of Destro. I wouldn't fault you for playing either here, but in my opinion, Demonology is going to be the play, number one, for the very strong single target profile that it brings, and number two, for the raw just survivability that Demo has. Warlock's already good with Soul Leech and passive healing and things, but factoring in Soul Link as well, this fight, there's a decent bit of raid-wide damage going out with these soaks, but Demonology is exceptionally tanky and brings an exceptionally strong DPS profile in single target. So for that, I give the nod to Demonology here. 2 Demonology, 1 Destro fight so far. Lady Inerva Darkvein is the 4th boss potentially you're going to encounter. You can go to a handful of bosses here depending on the pathing you take, and this boss is interesting. So we played Affliction during Prog 8 years ago when Nathria was relevant, but Destro was also a very decent option. It wasn't really played in like early prog, but on PTR, I guess during beta, we played a lot of Destro on this fight, and it felt fine. You had a lot of cleave onto the ads. There's a lot of cleave potential in this fight in different parts of it, and it just felt solid. Now, the option here is Destro and Demo. AF is not going to be played here at all. I'm going to say this is probably going to be a better Destro fight due to the cleave you can get on the Spectres and the Manifestations, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Demonology is just to play in this fight. Just feed your Demolox PI and watch them just kill the boss and blast the prio ads into the ground. Demo brings that very strong 1 minute damage profile once again, and I believe, if I remember correctly, these ads are on about a 1 minute spawn timer, so theoretically you could timer it every ad set. I could be wrong there. Regardless though, both specs have a lot of merit here. If you don't need extra ad cleave, just play Demo and blast the boss or blast prio ads into the ground. If you need them or want to play Destro for cleave, play Destro. They're both really relevant damage profiles in this fight. I'm going to give the initial nod to Destro, but I wouldn't be surprised if Demonology takes this one as well. So, 2 Demo, 2 Destro. Artificer Xymox is going to be a boss you encounter in this raid, depending on what path you take from Hungering Destroyer. So, this boss, even though this footage here we're playing Destro, this is actually beta footage of Shadowlands, not even actual like progression. This is very early on. We are playing Destro here. We are not playing Destro in this fight, I don't think. You can, but we're actually playing Necrolord too, I believe. Regardless, Demo is going to be the play in this fight, I feel. There's not really any potential for like cleave here unless somebody gets hit by a trap, and they really shouldn't be in the first place. This is going to be a strong single target, just PI your Demolox fight and kill the boss before you get killed by mechanics and things. This boss was very odd during prog because mechanics would overlap at certain points. You had to hold DPS, push DPS, and all that. We'll have to see where that goes, but Demonology, as we know, brings an exceptionally strong damage profile. It will also bring relatively mobile, running seeds, playing Night Fae. I would assume it's going to be a high mobility fight for Warlock, but Demo's great at that. I would say this is going to be a Demo fight. Sun King's Salvation is an interesting one, because during early beta testing of this fight, once again, yeah, actual beta of Shadowlands 20 years ago, we ended up playing Destro and Affliction. And AF was very good at pumping big damage into the shield because AF dumps most of his damage in a very short window with Rapture dumps and things like that. Demonology has a similar damage profile. Now, you can play both here. Destro is going to bring large AoE, large cleave on ads, and an okay profile when it comes to breaking the actual boss's shield. If you need more boss shield damage, I think Demonology is going to be the play. Demo can also get good cleave. I wouldn't be surprised to see an FTS, like just big dogs build here. Well, I guess you're always playing FTS, but a big dogs like Grim Inquisitors build possibly with stacked ads, because you can get a lot of cleave. But if you need more damage on shields, I mean, Demo's probably going to be the play. If you want more AoE, I would be surprised if Destro wasn't played with Inferno in this fight, because in early testing, Destro with Inferno, without the 4-piece, keep in mind, just utterly decimated. The ads are semi-relevant, they have to die, but in the end the shield is broken too. So it depends what your raid needs. I feel like you're going to see more Destro in this fight in logs early on and in parsing, but Demo might be the better prog spec. Overall though, I'm going to give the nod to Destro tentatively and see where it goes. Okay, Council of Blood is going to be a very odd boss because we played Affliction during progression on this fight. Affliction is not good anymore though, and the weird thing about this boss I felt during prog as well is that when you kill one of the 3 bosses, the other 2 heal back to full. So as AF, you could sort of generate resources from cleaving onto some, play Siphon Life in early progression, and like funnel a big boss down. And when the others would heal back to full, you swap the other one, and it sort of worked out. Destro was played on this fight towards the end of Nathria, partially as a meme spec, partially as like, hey, let's have some fun, whatever. But Destro's Havoc Cleave doesn't really bring a whole lot on this fight unless you're hitting Stone Guard ads or maybe some kind of like, whatever the smaller ads are called. But you can't really get a whole lot of relevant cleave here. There's no Rolling Havoc stacks, there's no Flashpoint stacks. Whatever target you're cleaving onto with Havoc is going to heal back to full anyways. So I'm actually going to say this is going to be a Demo fight. Demo is played a bit towards the end of prog here also, and it brings a very strong single target damage profile with that 1 minute cooldown window. PI or Demo locks for hard parts of the fight, whether it's, you know, the Stone Guards in the end or having just a weird overlap on bosses. And Demo actually might just crank this boss. Depending how stacked your AoE is too, you might get pretty good waiter cleave. I think this is going to be a Demo fight. As much as I want to say AF or Destro, throw Af a bone. I think Demo's going to be the play here. I wouldn't be surprised if Destro sees play early on, but later on, I think Demo's going to take over. The only way Destro sees play early on, I think, though, is if you have issues killing the Dutiful Attempted Ad. If you do, Destro can bring good cleave. Besides that, I think it's a Demo fight. Sludgefist. This is going to be the fight. This is the fight that I am most excited about this tier. Denathrius is cool too. This fight is fun. I'm telling you right now, there's no beating around the bush. You're playing Demo here. Demo can literally tyrant every single pillar. You give your Demo Locks PI, they will hard carry this boss. Give your Demo Locks PI on first pillar, on third pillar, fourth pillar, whatever. Give it every pillar. You have Tyrant for every single pillar as long as you line it up right. Towards the end of Castle Nathria Prog, there were some Demo parses with lower levels of haste and things, and they were just getting their Tyrant for each pillar. We're sitting at 35% haste now passively. Your Demo Locks will carry this fight. Hardcore. Similar to how Af carried first pillar and fourth pillar. Give your Demo Locks PI, watch them carry this fight, and have a good time. This fight's awesome. Destro doesn't have the damage profile for it. It's 2 minutes with a bad legendary for this fight, or 3. Not good. You want a spec that can do all of its damage in a short window when he's stunned. That's Demo. PI your Demo Locks. Watch them carry the fight. It's Demo all the way. Stone Legion Generals. I'm going to be honest. It's Destro or Demo, and I don't know. This fight is going to be... I think this fight is still bugged to this day, most likely. We'll find out on Tuesday. We played Affliction during Prog. It was fine. You want to have varying damage profiles in this fight. You want to have a strong 2-target profile when the bosses are down in the final phase. You want to have strong AoE burst on the ads when you kill multiples for the shield. You want to have good burst on the actual skirmisher waves. You want to be able to prio the commando down or the actual like stone guard down if need be. I'm assuming this is going to be a Destro fight. You can get very solid stacked AoE, and it looks like a good Destro fight. But the thing is, you have to control your AoE at times. You can't just snap off and try and destroy everything. If you do, you're going to wipe the raid. I think it's a Destro fight. It might not be Inferno Destro. It might be Kata Destro, though, depending where it goes. I wouldn't fault so much for playing Demo either, but in that final phase as well, when you have those skirmishers and the bosses down, sort of similar to how Pantheon is. If you can have, you know, a couple of skirmishers in there with 2 bosses, look at how good Destro is on Pantheon with Inferno. It just kills everything. So I think this is going to end up being a Destro fight. Maybe even Kyrian Destro. It's hard to say. Got to feel it out, though. My bet, though, go towards Destro. Sire Denathrius is going to be an odd fight, because we played Affliction during Prog. Af was very strong in single target. It allowed you to have strong bursts on the 4 horseman ads around the room. However, Af is not good, as we know, and I did not play Demonology in this fight. I think THD did once during Prog, was like, oh, or during Farm, and said it was very, very bad. I don't believe your pets go through the mirror, and I think that if they do, they were buggy. I remember pets being just terrible on this fight for Demonology, and if that's the case, you might just play Destro. You probably just do, but Destro feels pretty bad in this fight too. You might just ride the bench. Realistically, I hope the pet AI is fixed. It might be, it might not be. Destro wouldn't be a bad choice in this fight either. You can get good, like decent Huntsman, Horseman cleave, whatever you want to call them. Decent ag cleave on both Sire and Remornia. It's actually probably better than you think, because Remornia does split damage with the boss, and there is a DPS check here. So Destro's probably fine. It can be awkward at times if movement factored in. If you can play Demo, you probably play Demo. But if you can't, Destro's probably a fine alternative as well. But either way, Sire is an awesome fight. Probably the best end boss of the expansion, if it was a little bit tougher. It's better than Jailer, and Jailer was good, and it's certainly better than Sylvanas. I am pumped to get back into Nathria, but Sludgefist and Sire, those are the 2 big dogs that I want to pull again. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope the video was helpful to some extent when it comes to trying to decipher what specs to play each boss in Fated Castle Nathria. But I want to drive the point home again that we don't know how tuning is going to be. There's a rumor going around that it could be a bit tougher than people expect. We'll see. I really don't know, but the big thing, last time we were in Nathria, Affliction was great. Affliction is terrible now. So if you like Demo or you like Destro, hey, this is probably going to be the tier for you and probably the season for you. But if you like Af, well, there's Dragonflight. And hopefully in a few days, or I'm hoping Tuesday, we'll have some Warlock trees to talk about. I think that's pretty big copium, but because we haven't had any data mined abilities yet, but we'll see. We'll feel it all out. So thanks again for watching, guys. Any questions, drop them down below in the comment section. I will be sure to get back to you. And once again, any week warriors or add-ons you've seen, all free on my Twitch. Link down below if you want to swing by and grab them. And one big shout out to my patrons again. Thank you guys for all support on Patreon. Really appreciate it. If you're looking at supporting on Patreon, there should be a link up here as well as down in the video description below. When you're down there, be sure to smash the like and sub buttons. It helps out a ton. I was skeptical of S4 heading into it, like Mythic Plus wise. It seemed fun. It's going to be fun. Raid wise, a bit more iffy, but over the past 48 hours looking into Castle Nathria and even SOD to a certain extent, I'm actually pretty pumped. So next week is going to be a wild one. New alpha build, praying for lock talents, S4 on Tuesday. I hope you guys are ready. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you again soon on stream. Peace.